Well, per usual, got stuck working later than I wanted to. Got a little bit of sunlight, so we gotta try and fire this thing up and take it for a quick ride before it gets too dark and cold. She fires right up. Oh, I didn't even turn the gas on. Hopefully that's warm enough. But fresh plugs, that's where we're at. It's dark now. Just took this up to the gas station, topped it off with gas, rode it up to the shop. Runability wise, I have zero complaints right now. It's a little rich on the off throttle circuit, so it idles perfectly fine. Under just shy of a quarter throttle, it's got a little bit of a stumble. Just past that is fine, wide open. This thing pulls really hard, really strong. So we're very close on this. In the video when I was trying to do the quick little time lapse on this right beforehand, trying to get it fired up right away, I'm still struggling on the cold start. I don't know what the issue is exactly. Basically, with the choke on, it needs the choke to attempt to start. If the choke is not on, I get nothing at all. But when I put the choke on, a couple kicks, nothing, nothing, nothing. I pre-torched a set of plugs yesterday in case that happened. Threw fresh plugs in and it fired in the second kick. Fired good, strong, no issues there whatsoever. I did see the gap on one of these Champions. These are the plugs that were in there. They're not bad by any means. Nice white color to them, but the gap on there is really, really tight. So I'm gonna have to, one's tight, one's not. So we'll have to readjust these. I'm gonna retorch these just as a backup. I don't wanna be that guy that's gotta throw new plugs in the bike every time you wanna start it. Warm, that thing fires up really well. I'd do it for you now, but I just drained it out of gas because I now have the matching set for the needle. I got a Q2 needle. I have a Q2 needle and a DP1, 6 DP1 needle and a 166 Q2. So I have the matching set instead of the one that's in there. And a Q2, I finally pulled up the Mikuni book and went through all of the things to see where we're at. Everything that I have in here now is telling me that this is set up for a much leaner mixture on the mid-range than the Q is, but I didn't remember what the needle jet was, so I'll go through that and kind of figure that out. That might make it into the next video. We still have some more carb tuning to do, and then really just that, it's the starting. Everything else is perfect. It's not leaking any oil. Well, within reason. For me, this is a dry bike. This is all from sumping and kicking, but underneath right now, I don't have any trails of oil anywhere on this bike. It pulls really hard. It idles really well. Headlights working, brake lights working. No issues there. All the oil on the primary on this side is from every time I tried to time it. Now, I did bump the timing back a hair trying to start it. I just loosened them. I didn't time it with the, I didn't pop the cap or anything. And I also adjusted the points yesterday, which is why I moved the timing back just a smidge. So I loosened the bolts, clocked it a couple degrees. I'll find out a little bit more because I am going to set this back to, I'll pull out the voltmeter and set the points to open it with the voltmeter again tomorrow, back on the timing mark where it's supposed to be. But when I adjusted the point gap from 12 to 18, it started kicking back on me, like kicking back, which I know it looks like it's kicking back when it's coughing out the carb, and every now and again it will kind of sputter or stumble back. A couple of the times in the other kickstart videos, or me kicking this videos, it kicked back when I was at the bottom of the stroke and kicked my foot off the thing, and then it kind of spun back and kicked me. Yesterday was the first time that rotating the motor over, it straight up popped back on me. Didn't bite me or anything. Foot was on there with tension on the pedal, so it wasn't that bad, but that was when I opened the points gap from 12 thou to 18. As you move the points gap, if you open the points gap bigger or smaller, it does affect timing. So me opening it from 12 to 18 advanced the timing a little bit more. I've been running this pretty centered on the window, maybe slightly favoring the rear, which is a little on the hot advanced side as is. In my experience on points ironheads with a battery and a coil, that's where I've run it on the back side of the window every time. It just tends to help a little bit, no kickbacks or whatever. And then if for some reason it is an electric start bike like the Super Glide, I'll run that one pretty advanced until the starter doesn't like it, and then I back it off a smidge and lock it down. Kind of the same boat on the trucks or any of the Fords. I'll run them advanced. I'm not running a vacuum advance on the truck or the Falcon, but I'll run the advance as hot as I can until the starter doesn't like it, and then back off a smidge and lock it out right there. So quick little update for you. I know this is a lengthier video on tuning, but it's tuning. It's not the most fun and exciting thing to watch. I'm trying to keep you guys as updated as possible with all of the changes I'm making to see how that goes. So we have new needle jet, so we're gonna swap those back out. Definitely likes the 330 main. The last time I rode this, when it was running really well, it drove like crap. Now it drives amazing, it just sucks to start. So one step forward, 2 steps back. We'll get there eventually, but we got a really nice day. It was 52 today, I think it's 54 tomorrow, and I don't have to go to the shop tomorrow, so try and get some miles on this thing. We'll catch you tomorrow. Just pulled the plugs out of this thing after riding it. I got much better lighting in here than I do at the shop. So here is what we are looking at. These are what just came out of the bike. It's brown, it's tan. It's on the darker side of brown, and I was not being gentle to this on the ride back home. I was gentle on the way out, not on the way back. We have a nice brown color here. It's not black. This is substantially better than what it's looked like the last handful of times going in and coming out of the bike. Here's the other one. Nice and toasty. So we got one cylinder that is running a little bit darker, but coloring wise, I think this is pretty much exactly what we're looking for. I'm very happy with that. So nice burn all the way around. Sorry, I keep spinning this thing trying to make it focus. It's very hard. There's probably a zoom. What if I just do this and then zoom in and editing? I think that's a thing. There we go. Nice brown color. So I'm happy with the plugs on this. I have the old Champions up here. I just regapped them. I do want to mic this out real quick because I did not do that yet. Let's see here. I got my feeler gauge right here. Yeah. We're just over 20 here on the plug gap. I don't remember what it's supposed to be for some reason I thought 18, but that might have been the plug gap. We're at 20 right now. Let's see what 22 does. Ooh, we actually might be a little big. I wonder if that's part of it. Oh, we're way big. Okay, I'm gonna close the gap up on these. I wonder if that has something to do with the hard startability. I'm gonna gap these at 18. Let's go 19, in between 19 and 20. I'll gap these at 19, see what that looks like, and then there we go. 19 thou. Maybe. There we go. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm not going to torch these. Let's do 19 here on the gap. I think that should be all right. And then we'll see what happens tomorrow when the motor cools off. I can't really do anything now because now she's running good. Yeah, we're right at 20 on this one. So we're at 20 on this one, we were at about 24 on the other one. I think 20 is pretty much where I wanna be. Yeah, 20 on each. We'll take that. A little bit of tension and drag on here. And we'll see what happens tomorrow.